A very good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Early Edge. We have a great show for you today. We are five wide. We've got a lot of sports and a lot of picks to cover. And I want to say hello to Stephen Cook, CID, Jason Pogwist, so many people in the chat. Let's take a look at how we did yesterday on the recap screen. 3-3, another even day. I think yesterday was the same thing. We were 500, I think, if memory serves. Let's see. Buckets hits his SportsLine Picks stay hot. Mikey B 0 for 2 is a very strange phenomenon. This guy has been very hot this entire year. So that's going to happen from time to time. But ladies and gentlemen, we got to move forward because we got a lot to cover. We've got AMags. We've got Mackenzie Brooks. We've got PropStarz. And we've got, oh, there he is, the Snyper. AMags and Snyper on the same show. Snyper, I'm going to start with you. How you doing today?
I'm great. Other than the fact that we have a very short Major League Baseball slate on the day that I'm coming back after a very brief hiatus. But as I said in the chat, you guys are going to be sick of me in a few weeks.
Well, you know what's funny too, Sniper, and I'm always the guy that complains about the MLB and scheduling and things of that nature. All these games this afternoon are during the Masters. I mean, what your response? What's going on here?
I don't know how much crossover there is. People who might take like the Thursday afternoon off to watch the Masters, maybe they have multiple TVs anyway. So I don't think it's that big of a deal.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. You sound like the MLB commissioner if I were to ask him that question. Hey, Max, how you doing?
I would be much better public facing than Rob Manfred. I would never call the World Series trophy a piece of metal.
Oh gosh, I don't even recall him saying that. That's not very good. Hey, Max, how you doing today?
Doing great. I would vote for Sniper to be the MLB commish for sure. I would love to see him in that role.
Mackenzie, talk to me about the thumbnail for today's show. It was you, it was Bryce Harper, and there's some correlation there. And I think the correlation was accidental. According to Ben, he didn't know there was something actually going on with one of your picks.
Yeah, no big deal. Made my my MLB betting debut of the season last night on primetime pregame. We had a little 3-2 night. We'll call it profitable, and we had Bryce Harper hit his over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. So you know how I feel about baseball betting. I'm always trying to really get into it. And Bryce Harper was definitely a good start here. So pumped about him, pumped about the Phillies beating the Braves here, rocking my own Georgia Bulldogs today because all the Georgia Bulldog girls are coming to town. Fort Lauderdale reunion season 2 is upon us after this show.
My
so my weekend starts right after this.
God, can I tell you how much I miss Fort Lauderdale right now, this time of year? 17 years, and then I moved to the cold. PropStarz, I believe Mackenzie Brooks said something about Bryce Harper being profitable. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, Sia. We're in the Pacific Northwest, currently at the beautiful A Casino and Resort. I'm in a suite. I'm having separation anxiety as I'm away from Venom right now. But I'm looking forward to this stream. We're inching closer to the NBA playoffs, Sia. And how do we like Daniel Berger's chances of finishing top 40, Sia?
Ooh, well, I think Mike McClure, who was in the chat, likes that pick as well. And I'm always going to back, or at least most of the time, I'm going to back Mike McClure picks. Berger is an enigma to me. I think top 40 is like the perfect market for him because he's just not a guy that can close, but can he linger? Can he be there in the top 30, top 40? I think the answer to that is yes. And the way the course is playing, especially today so far, I think it lines up pretty well for Daniel Berger. So we've got a lot of golf picks to come. I know Mike is in the chat to answer some golf or MLB questions, but we got AMags and Sniper to answer MLB questions as well. And I know there's already a couple in the chat, so we're going to get to those. But let's start off, PropStarz, with some NBA. Let's start with Ja Morant.
Yeah, I'm going to a game that I know Mackenzie likes as well, which makes sense considering this is a competitive game, potential playoff matchup between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Memphis Grizzlies here. I'm going to back Ja Morant to go over 11.5 combined rebounds and assists for Ja. Interestingly enough, as we know, the Grizzlies made that big late season move by firing Taylor Jenkins, their head coach. Inexplicable, really, but Ja Morant has been unleashed since then. And a lot of the rumblings suggest, or if we can look at something, they were running the least amount of ball screens of any team in the league, and really Ja was unhappy with the offense. That has changed, and he's balling out. He looks like the guy that was an all-NBA player 2 of the last 3 seasons and a viable MVP candidate. He's been absolutely outstanding. Also, his minutes and his usage are spiking here as well. culminating in this must-win game against Minnesota. I anticipate him playing upwards of 38 to 40 minutes in a competitive game, which it certainly projects to be here. So getting a steep discount on this RA line as a result of his statistics being depressed over the course of the season, really wasn't engaged, dealing with numerous injuries. Not the case right now. He looks to be at peak powers, and he is very engaged. So we just need to accumulate the counting stats, which I'm confident he is. When Ja's at full strength, this line typically hovers around 13.5 to 14.5. So getting it at 11.5 at plus money, I think, is a very good look tonight.
All right, we're taking John Morant over 11.5 rebounds and assists at plus money. A couple of baseball questions. I don't want it to get away from you. Steve Folkerts, thank you for being in the chat. Hit the like button if you could, everybody. God is in here. Joe Neuenfeld, Dan Casey, Sean Ritchie, John is in here. Sniper, I'm going to ask you. We've got a lot of afternoon games like we talked about. In AMags, we're going to get to your pick in a second. But there are some people who like the Royals tonight, minus 120, minus 125 at home against the Twins. Any thoughts there, Sniper?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. That's actually one of your picks, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you were just going to lead straight into it. Yeah, that's one of my plays. So we'll get to that.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's flip things around. We're versatile. Sniper, we don't have to go by the script. AMags, you and Sniper can flip. Let's get right to answering Steve Folkert's questions. Now, you have two picks, so you can give the Blue Jays one first, but you're going to close with the Royals.
Okay. Yeah. I'll just go straight into my plays then. Yeah. The first one, I went to Fenway Park, Blue Jays at Red Sox here. It's late afternoon. I believe it's around 4:00. It's kind of cold. That might benefit the pitchers. I know Mike in the chat loves the weather report, and it is important. But I'm going to go with the Blue Jays in the first 5. I'm basically just fading Walker Buehler right now. His velocity is down. He has a different arm angle from what he was using in the playoffs when he was really, really good after a disaster of a regular season. He still just doesn't seem like he can get right for more than a few starts at a time. 2 bad outings so far that produced an 8.68 ERA, 1.61 whip. That's a lot of base runners. Even in the cold, if the Blue Jays can get that much traffic, they're going to put a few crooked numbers on the board. On the other side, Chris Bassett so far in his 2 starts has been brilliant. One of the best pitchers in baseball, actually, with a 0.71 ERA. Last year in Fenway Park, a 1.98 ERA in 2 starts. In his career, 1.95 ERA in Fenway Park in 4 starts. And again, cold weather probably benefits the pitcher. So I think Bassett's going to have a good outing. I'm fading Walker Buehler. This is basically straight pitching matchup. That's why I'm going with the first 5 here. Then we'll go to the Royals as we teased. I got it locked in at minus 118 last night. Seems like a lot of people wanted to jump on the Royals. That's why we're seeing minus 122, 125 or so. Doesn't matter. I still like the Royals a lot here. They're the better team. They're at home. They got shut down last night. Quick turnaround. That's a good formula for a team to bounce back. They have the best player in the series in Bobby Witt Jr. We all know that. Minnesota starting pitcher Bailey Ober. Kauffman Stadium has been an absolute house of horrors for him. In his last 6 starts there, 6.49 ERA in Kauffman. Last year, he started there twice, yielded an 8.64 ERA. Again, house of horrors for Bailey Ober, so I'm fading him. Bullpens, the Royals are in better shape going into this one as well. It's not quite HDH from a few years ago. Remember the Herrera, Davis, Holland from about a decade ago when the Royals won the World Series? But Hunter Harvey, Lucas Erceg, Carlos Estevez, brilliant in the last 3 innings. So if you can get a situation where Michael Wacha throws 5 innings or so, they can piece together the 6, then they get their 3 bullpen aces at the end. Bailey Ober gets knocked around by the Royals in the early innings. I really, really like the Royals to win this ball game.
I love it. I love an afternoon cash as well. We've got so much going on with the Masters. Why not some MLB afternoon cashes as well? Joe Neuenfeld says, my Twins kind of stink. Noted Minnesota fan, Joe Neuenfeld. All right, well, we've got a lot more picks to go, but I do want to tell you about an odds boost token from BetMGM relating to the Masters. Get an odds boost token for your Masters bet at BetMGM. Use your boost token on any Masters bet, and you'll receive a bigger payout if you win. Excitement is par for the course at BetMGM. And I do want to remind everybody as well, if you are a member of SportsLine, or I should say, if you're just subscribed to this YouTube channel, which, oh, by the way, is free, and if you have your notifications turned on, something will pop up at 2:30 exactly, and it's going to be a UFC 314 live stream. If you don't have the notifications turned on, that's fine. I'm telling you about it right now. At 2:30, lock into this SportsLine YouTube channel because Danny Brasco was back. Josh Nagel is back, and Gipper's Picks, he's back as well. They're talking at 2:30 about UFC 314. You're not going to want to miss it. Last time they did this, which was, I don't know, about a month ago, they went red hot, scorching hot. It was crazy how much money they would have won you if you took all of their bets. So they're doing it again at 2:30. So check that out. Mr. Big saying Ober is an auto fade. SportsLine Picks, those are not an auto fade. Those have been kind of saving us day to day. They've been really hot. Jeff Hockman likes the Dallas Stars money line at -128. And Jason Lock-on-4 likes the Twins Royals first 5 over 4.5 runs at -110. Those are a couple of SportsLine picks. I got a couple of golf picks. AMags has a pick. Mackenzie has a pick. We're going to get to it right after this message from our partners.
She knows, and I know she knows.
All right, we're back on the Early Edge, brought to you by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. AMags, I was in Discord, I believe it was Sunday, and I'm trying to remember. Could have been Saturday, might have been Sunday. And I don't often go into the MLB Discord, but I just kind of dipped in there. I think it was for Sunday Night Baseball, and you had a couple of props that you liked, and one of them related to Rafael Devers in terms of his hit runs, RBIs. And I'm pretty sure whatever you put out there, which was like the over maybe 1.5, it hit like immediately. Well, it looks like you're going back to the well here. What's your pick today?
Yeah, Sunday was a good night. And if you remember, that was actually where the you had the Red Sox with 18 runs, right? They scored a bunch of runs. And then they dip into this week, and they have been putrid with scoring runs. 4 runs over the last few games here. They need to avoid the 4-game sweep, actually, here. And I think that when you look at the Blue Jays, it's a little bit troubling that they have kind of turned the Red Sox in and out, because I was a Red Sox guy much more than a Blue Jays guy to look at the season. But if you want to single out somebody from the Red Sox side, I really do like Rafael Devers here tonight, or today, we should say. It's a 4:00 game East Coast, but it is that final day game before we have just one single night game tonight. So Devers, since he's turned the page to April, 433 average, a 1,200 OPS. I know we heard a lot about his struggles early in the season, but it was really just a few games in March. And now he's been great in April. As you mentioned, Sia, that night he cashed the hit run RBI. He would have also had like 3 home runs if the weather was a little bit better, or if he just chose to hit the ball to any other piece of the ballpark besides the absolute deepest part. He had multiple doubles off the deepest part of the Green Monster. It was crazy, but it does show that he has been hitting. He has been feeling much better at the plate. And then you have the matchup against Chris Bassett, who I don't love to. I kind of mentioned this in the Discord chat yesterday. If you go back and look, I can maybe even bump it up to kind of show everybody. But I don't love using batter versus pitcher numbers when they go back to like 2021, 2022. I mean, you're multiple years behind at that point. Pitchers do tend to kind of change their arsenals, and batters as well kind of change themselves. We've seen with the torpedo bats, right? So, you know, when you get those stats from like last season or even the season before, I like to look at those. Well, last year, Devers against Bassett here, he's just had his number 4 for 6. The year before that, 2 for 5, multiple home runs, multiple extra base hits. It's a guy that he just sees well. I'm actually a bit interested to see what happens here with how they pitch him, just how many pitches that Bassett throws in terms of variety of pitches, and then how poor the rest of the lineup, besides a couple of guys, had fared against Bassett. You have Bregman and Duran and Abreu, who have, you know, some success against him, but pretty much nothing else or unfamiliarity. So it's going to have to be Devers and a couple of those guys doing it here tonight. I don't have a ton of confidence in the Red Sox, but I do in Rafael Devers. I think he gets his tonight against Chris Bassett. And check the Discord, because we have a few other hit run RBI that I posted in there a little bit earlier.
Absolutely love that. SportsLine, Discord. If you're not using both of those in tandem, you're definitely missing out on not just picks, but a lot of insight from guys like Snyper, AMags, PropStarz, Mackenzie, so many people in there. And I love that Mike McClure is in the chat answering questions. I do have a question for you, Mackenzie Brooks. Joey B says, who has the better hair this morning, Sia versus Mackenzie? And it's -110 each way. Do you got to take here, Kenz?
I feel a little insulted that I'm not at least favored in this situation,
Yeah.
but you know what? You can't win them all. Can't win them all.
Yeah. I feel like it should be like minus 125 your way probably, but I'd still bet on the dog there. I'm just throwing that out there. Speaking of betting on dogs, or speaking of betting on plus numbers, because he's not a dog, but it is a plus number. I've got a couple of bets, and they're kind of on the other side of things with respect to juice. I'll start with the 3-ball that you can get anywhere. Patrick Cantlay plus 120 over Matt Fitzpatrick and Rasmus Højgaard. This one is an easy one for me. I mean, Patrick Cantlay's record at the Masters, it's actually not as impressive as Matt Fitzpatrick's. But as everybody knows, I've been fading Matt Fitzpatrick, including last week, and he's been really bad. So, yeah, he can establish some form at a place that he likes, Augusta, but the form has been so bad for about 12 months now, Matt Fitzpatrick. I just don't think he can regain any form that is anywhere close to what Cantlay's likely to put out. So Rasmus Højgaard, he's new to the Masters. He's new to Augusta. He can kind of be all over the place. I expect a pretty bad round from him, and it wouldn't shock me if Rasmus missed the cut. So for me, this is really kind of an easy one in terms of picking this one out. I love the plus money. It's plus 120 over at DK. I think MGM has it at maybe plus 110, which is still an absolutely great number. I would play this maybe plus 105 or better is where I would play this. So Patrick Cantlay plus 120 over Matt Fitzpatrick and Rasmus Højgaard. And then next we go to JJ Spaun. This one you might think is too juicy. Maybe you don't want to take it. It's a 3-ball matchup. You can only find this over at DK. Again, it's under the 3-ball matchup specifically. This is one of those situations where I'm going to continue to fade guys like Matt Fitzpatrick and Max Homa, kind of regardless of the price, unless it's like minus 200 or minus 180. JJ Spaun is a guy I like in this tournament. I played him in DFS. I played him in the top 40 market. Max Homa was 3rd place here last year, literally T3 at Augusta. Since that time, he has been absolutely horrible. And again, as much as I like course history at Augusta, Max Homa has been way too out of form, and JJ Spaun has played here before. It was a few years ago in 2022, and he played well. I think he ended up being he was 23rd overall. So, I mean, he's got some experience here, and he's coming in very hot. Minus 150 is a lot. If you don't want to pay the juice, that's cool. You can parlay this with, for example, another 3-ball matchup. You could take Cantlay over Højgaard in a 3-ball matchup. You can parlay this with it, and it'll probably pay like plus 160, plus 170. But I played this at the minus 150, so it's up to you whether you want to play it or not as well. But I like Cantlay plus 120, Spaun minus 150, and we move on. I'll look for some golf questions in the chat, MLB questions. But we got to go to the NBA, Mackenzie Brooks.
Yeah, we do. This is a bit of a principal play here, and it is an under, which you know is big for me. I only give out unders when I really feel passionately about them. And Zach Edey today, like I mentioned, just feels like a principal play. He's put up monster numbers his past 4 games, 100%. We do have to remember some of those were against teams like Charlotte, but he was also putting up like monster minutes in those 28+ minutes in his last 4 games. I just have to imagine we're due for a bit of regression here. You're looking at the middle of the Western Conference in general, just really strong competition, people playing hard, trying to avoid that play-in spot as well. So now we're looking at a PRA for Edey at 23.5, which is 6 points higher than his home average here, right? He averages around 17.6 at home. So overall, he's 22-8 to this number, or to the under on this number at 23.5. So I know he's been playing great, but at some point, I think the odds makers just take it a little too far, inflate this game or this line a little too much. And I think he can still have a great game, but go under this number of 23.5.
All right. And now that I got a closer look with the zoom in, I do agree you should probably be minus 140, Mackenzie.
Thank you, Sia.
You're welcome. Sniper, we transition to you because you might not be prepared for this, and that's okay. But somebody
I'm always prepared for anything.
As you might expect, somebody, because people remember Sniper, the home run stuff, and we're going to have more home run stuff. I think we're going to try to incorporate some of the models on some of these shows in terms of like, best value or most likely to hit a home run, whatever the case may be. Do you have a guy, Sniper, that you're kind of squarely focused upon that could hit a home run today?
Yeah, I really was hoisted by my own petard there because I was all cool and like, hey, I'm always ready. And then I'm not. Actually, let's do this. In Tampa, in George M. Steinbrenner Field, which is the exact same dimensions as Yankee Stadium, which means there's a short porch in right field. It's going to be really warm today. It's a day game. The ball should fly. Jose Soriano on the mound for the Angels is right-hander. Brandon Lowe from the Rays is left-handed. He's a home run hitter. Let's go with Lowe.
Okay. AMags, any thoughts in this regard?
Hey, I like what Sniper just said right there. I posted, had a couple hit run RBI in that game, just to the point of it being one of the couple of games that actually has advantageous hitting weather. I like what he said there, but let's go Bobby Witt at home, right? Against Bailey over.
That works
like
out
that
with my play. Little synergy there.
Yeah, I like that. We have a question relating to golf. Sia, do you like Spawn plus 160 in a 3-ball with Homa and Rose? I looked at that, Rob. P.S. You have the same question. I think it's okay. Justin Rose can surprise people here. I think he's a really sneaky play in DFS. This one, I like the plus 160, and I like that Homa's in this 3-ball, but I would probably stay away from this. And if you do play it, I would play it pretty light, which you can do because it's plus 160. PropStarz, I don't know if you have visuals on the chat. Was there an NBA question that you needed to get to?
There's not, but yeah, open for business if anyone has any questions. And my home run pick is Mickey Morandini.
Oh, I love that. We're going old school.
I have a home run pick.
He went to IU,
Let's
by
go,
the way.
Kenzie,
Mickey
let's
Morandini,
go.
He went to IU.
IU, nice.
Oh, there we go. So Jake Fettner on our team, on the SportsLine model team. It's me, myself, Stephen O. Jake is like our baseball wizard, college baseball MLB, but he's been putting in a lot of our just value picks that we have on home runs, where we'd set the line versus where odds makers do. Mike Trout being good value at plus 400, you can find where we would set him below plus 300 here. And then Brandon Lowe as well, around plus 525 on MGM, you can find. That's a line we would set closer to plus 340 there. So just two maybe undervalued guys here. And then we also have some value on Brewers money line again and Red Sox money line again.
Interesting. Did you say Low as well, Sniper?
Yeah.
Okay. And AMags, you had something.
Just from what I'm looking at, I have Mike Trout as the top projected home run for the day.
All right.
Wow. Oh, we have a ton of synergy.
Sounds like we can't lose.
I think it's actually impossible to have a losing recap.
We can start saying more names. I don't think we can lose. We can just start naming everyone.
We need buckets here to throw Jorge Soler out there, except say Solar. Man, I miss him. It's been a while since I've been on with buckets. Come on.
Yeah, well, Sniper, you're back in the saddle now. So is AMags. Yeah. So you guys are going to be rotating through with buckets and with this whole entire crew. And that crew, by the way, includes all of you. You know, we got some of the regulars in here like GAWD, Joe, Steve Folkerts, but I see Butch Hageman is in here. Aaron Bailey's one of the regulars. Jeff Stenberg. Thanks for being in here, everybody. All right, let's take a look at the recap screen before we get out of here. Hopefully we gave you enough sort of MLB tidbits and maybe some golf and NBA ones to get some extra picks in here. But here are the official plays. Cantlay, this is this afternoon in a round 1 3-ball. Cantlay plus 120 over Matt Fitzpatrick and Rasmus Højgaard. And then I've got a 3-ball matchup. This one you can only find over at DK. JJ Spawn, I know it's juicy, but it's minus 150 over Max Homa. Rafael Devers over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. That's courtesy of AMags, and it's minus 110. Then we got the Sniper with Blue Jays first 5, minus 115, and the Royals money line, minus 118. Mackenzie Brooks, Zach Edey under 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists at minus 120. And then PropStarz with John Morant over 11.5 rebounds and assists at plus 110. Dallas Stars money line minus 128 from Jeff Hockman. That is a SportsLine pick. And the next SportsLine pick, Twins Royals first 5 over 4.5 runs, minus 110. Again, that one from JLC. And by the way, I do want to let everybody know the Friday BPE Fridays have been just red hot in every regard. Sniper, you're going to be on that tomorrow with Chip, with buckets, by the way. It's going to be a great BPE Friday. It always is. But today was great as well. We're going to have a great day. We got Masters bets to sweat. I've got my 3-ball from yesterday that's going on right now. Last I checked, I had a slight lead in that one, but it's extremely early there. We got first round leaders. We got all these golf bets today. We got the afternoon games. If we cash some of these bets and you guys cash some of these tickets, go ahead and tweet at us. Don't forget to rate the podcast, rate and review the podcast on Spotify or Apple. That always helps as well. But we got to get out of here so we can let you watch some of this coverage. PropStarz, Mackenzie Brooks, AMags, Sniper, Ben, we're here for you every single day at 10 o'clock on the early edge. Thank you, Ben, on the 1s and 2s and 3s and 4s. And thank all of you. We'll see you next time. We rest our case.